All right, folks. Rule 4, going to be a lot shorter. Even each one going to be half the length of the previous video, maybe something like that. We'll see once I get rambling along. I've chosen Dead Cells here as my backdrop. I've got a couple queued up in case I go a little bit long. But today's rule number 4: compare yourself to who you were yesterday. Progress is incremental. I've said it many times here, but YouTube is not a window into your life. It's a window into the entire world. Comparing yourself to the people you see on YouTube and people you hear about and the rumors and the mills, it's too much. You used to be the best auto mechanic in town, and then now you could be that, but then you turn on YouTube and you're like, oh, here's the best auto mechanic in the world, or the best one in America, or the best one whatever. Life is smaller. It doesn't have to be these giant things. You can set small goals. You can make them achievable. Your goal can just be something you can do. The goal can be play the game every day. It doesn't have to be play the game and get further every day. If it's like a repeatable game or whatever, if it's an RPG or something, you'll by default get further. They don't have to be grandiose. They can also be grandiose. You can set your goals at like, I'm gonna be able to get an S rank or beat this game, or like beat it with, on hard or whatever. That's fine. But realize that within that grandiose goal, you can make smaller, less grandiose goals. Dead Cells was a great game for that kind of thing. Every run as a roguelite, I don't know whichever one it falls under. It was a game that you could play until you died. Maybe you beat the game, maybe you didn't. Beating the hand of the king, as he pops up right here, was a good place to like stop and reload. You saw the actual ultimate boss, but being able to like run through the hand of the king in an incredibly fast manner, like these kind of things you're seeing right here. This is the de facto last boss. There's a last boss beyond it. This guy is a lot harder than you would think watching this video. And it's not like I learned to do this. The first time I got to the hand of the king, he just killed me. He killed me over and over. I had to get to him a bunch of times. I had to learn a lot of little steps. Learn to get like crossbow, learn to use the shield to reflect stuff, and like practice. These kind of games, just they're great for that incremental thing. You get some cells, you get back to the boss where you spend the cells, like you saw at the beginning of the video, and you spend them, and hey, incremental. You got some experience. You could, if your goal was play the game every day, you achieve that and maybe even more. There's always going to be someone better than you. At sometimes there'll be people worse than you, and sometimes you'll be the worst person in the world. Like if you haven't played the game at all or whatever, you're de facto the worst player. So it's just a really good thing because man, people, they just pick these like heights, and they're like, I didn't get there today, and you're like, it's like you may never even get there. Like, why are you beating yourself up? It happened all the time. To throw in a Destiny story, people would come into raids that we were Sherping, and as a Sherpa, we're defining ourselves as someone who can teach you better than how to beat it, and we must be like some level of quality because we're defining ourselves as teachers and stuff. And then people would come in and you'd tell them all the mechanics, and they'd try it and they'd fail, and they're like, dude, so and so beat this raid with their feet, or they did it without dying, or they like 2-man the 6-man raid, and they all these like rules for themselves, like, oh, we must suck. And it's like, if that's a joke, fine, I get it. But the slippery slope of like, we can't beat it with our feet, so we suck, like when you start to believe it when it's as not a joke, like happen all the time. So it's also just a good rule for life. Maybe yesterday you got up and you went to work and you were late, and whatever. That's almost too much. But I'm saying, and then today you got up and you went to work and you were on time. Hey, better achievement. In fact, you could just say, yesterday I went to work. Today I went to work and it was 2 days in a row. These are just goals, and you just increment them. You just turn those knobs up a little bit every time until you've gone to work 5 days in a row. You've gone to work a week. You've gone 2 weeks. You've gone a month, a year, a career. It's just these things just come in these small bites. So stick with them, guys. It doesn't have to be all at once. It doesn't mean you suck. And you know what? Sometimes yesterday you were better than today. And fine. Don't you just find your use case where you were better. Like yesterday I got further in the game, but again, like I said, today you played the game twice as much or whatever. Another day's worth. It's more than yesterday. It's not impossible. All right, so what are we coming up with tomorrow? Tomorrow's a tough one because it's a bastardized version of a rule, which is like don't let kids do things that make you dislike them. I'm saying don't play games that you don't like. Don't force yourself into scenarios where you're playing for reasons you don't like. We'll get more granular with it. We're gonna talk about trends in the industry that you could avoid because it reinforces things you don't like about games, and how you could just choose not to participate. It's fine. That will almost certainly have some Destiny stories because I have chose not to participate in Destiny. I've never really checked back in with them to see if they changed some of the things I like. I'd love to have CD on here sometime to talk about those kinds of things. But yep, so that'll be Rule 5 tomorrow, and thanks for joining me today.